Mouse accel, for those who do not know, is basically the act of your cursor moving faster the faster you move your mouse. I'm gonna play a clip of someone else explaining it because I think they're gonna do a better job explaining why it's good than I can.
On your mouse pad were now as far apart as they are on Hisense, but they have the same size as they do on low sense. This would be absolutely overpowered, right? Well, that's mouse accel. You aim fast between targets and slow when getting close naturally. Mouse accel puts you on an optimal sense to do this at both points.
I'm assuming the same thing applies for Osu also. Mouse accel is something that's used in FPS games like Valorant. It's something that's well known in the aim training community, but there isn't really videos trying it out in the Osu, which is why I was kind of motivated to try it out and see if it would improve my skills or anything like that. And no, I don't mean the Windows enhanced pointer precision setting, which should be turned off. It has a weird curve and is not normal at all. As for Osu, I'm ranked 49k and I'm a very average player who mainly plays DT and consistency maps. So how much is mouse accel going to help me out? Before we get to that, you got to create a curve. First, what we got to do is search up raw accel. Then we can go to the GitHub page, and if it doesn't take you to the releases, I think it might take you like here. Just like click on the releases tab, which is over here, click that. Download version 1.6.1, this raw accel zip file. You can extract that out to your desktop and you should get an icon like this, with like the little black mouse or whatever. You're gonna click on that. It's gonna take you to these three graphs. Wait, actually, I think it only shows the sensitivity graph at first. What we're gonna do is we're gonna click on charts up in the top left corner, go to scale by mouse settings, DPI, and put this to 2 to 3 times your normal sensitivity. Like let's just say you have 800 DPI, you can put this at 1600 or 2400. I play 1600, so I put this at 3200. And to show the rest of these graphs, we click show velocity and gain. So this flat curve is basically your sensitivity without any mouse acceleration. What we're gonna do, we're gonna like change settings that's gonna make this curve, well, curved, for lack of a better term. So firstly, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this this window over here. Make sure you have like OBS or like Streamlabs or whatever, some sort of recording software, and put this window in the top left or top right corner, and make sure that your video capture software can also display Osu. So you're gonna run Osu with this thing in like the top left or right corner, and you should be able to see like this little like red dot moving up and down and stuff like that. You should be able to see that. So make sure that you have gameplay of you playing Osu with this little red dot, and also make sure that you play a variety of maps. Like don't just play like easy no mod aim maps. Play maps that are like in your comfort zone. Try not to play anything that's like ridiculously outside of your comfort zone. Like if you're like 200k, don't play like 8 stars or something like that. Just play stuff that you would like normally play. Play like hard rock, no mod aim, DT aim, DT fast aim, stuff like that. Just a variety of maps. You can play flow aim if you want to. I'm not really sure how much this would help for flow aim, but you could do that. And I want you to, after you're done like with your Osu gameplay or whatever, like watch over the video and see where your input speed like maxes out at, like the maximum input speed that you get. For me, the maximum this input speed ever got to was 80. So keep that number in the back of your head. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to this drop down, click classic, and again, these are just like baseline settings. You could like kind of like mess around with these. I'm just giving like a baseline which you could work off of. So turn that to classic, put the power on 3 again as like a baseline, and then let's just hit apply just to see how this will look like. You see now how it's like kind of curved before it's a straight line. Now it's actually gonna like do acceleration. Next, change this cap type to input, and whenever your input speed got to like the number that I told you to remember, in my case that was 80, multiply that number by 0.8. 80 times 0.8 is 64, so in my case I'll just put 64 in the cap input. Next, for the input offset, you could try a number from 0 to 10. What this is like the amount that you have to move your mouse before the acceleration triggers. If it's at 0, then the acceleration will like start no matter how much you move your mouse. But if you put it at like 10 milliseconds or 10 whatever, then it won't start accelerating until you move your mouse like a decent bit of speed. For me personally, I chose 5, but again, just play around with numbers, see what feels good. And same thing for acceleration. You could try like values from like around 0.005. I chose 0.0046, and once you get all that stuff, you should be good to go, and you should have a curve that'll work for you. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about my experiences with my curve. So obviously, for the first few days, I did have some struggles with my aim, but particularly my no-mod aim. Now, no-mod aim is not a skill set that I'm good at. In fact, I'm surprisingly bad at it because I struggle with low AR and like quote-unquote dense maps, which basically means that I'm like a DT one trick and can't read AR below like 9.2 well, to be honest. But now, my no-mod aim is pretty decent, if not better than before, which probably means that my bad performances were just me getting used to the curve. And as for small CS, I sometimes play small CS. I feel like it's pretty fun. It's not something that I play a lot, obviously, since I mainly play DT, but it improved a little bit, I'd say. But the main thing with small CS that I really like is that I felt like more confidence playing small CS maps, if that made sense. I felt like I could snap the notes better as compared to going like really slowly and just like trying to, I guess, constantly think about going as slow as possible and make sure I'm not like overshooting or like undershooting or anything like that. But one thing that improved for me like a good amount, I think the most out of all these skill sets, was DT and hard rock jumps, like specifically fast aim. Now, I was never very good at fast aim, and I know I'm just basically saying I'm bad at everything, but I guess I'm like a very particular player. Like I mainly preferred like slower, like more space jumps that would like grow across the map, but like didn't really require like high BPM stuff. But mouse accel kind of made those fast aim patterns like feel more comfortable and made it easier to hit. This might just be because mouse accel kind of technically increases your sense, because without the acceleration, it's just your original sense, if that makes sense. But with the acceleration added on, it's only going to go up. Either way, my fast aim improved a good amount, and if not, again, the most out of all these skill sets. I didn't really think mouse accel would affect my flow aim, and that turned out to be correct. My flow aim was one of my worst skill sets anyways, so I didn't really expect it to improve much, especially since I needed to work more on like the tapping aspect of my flow aim. Overall, while the changes were small and the curve took a bit to set up and get used to, it helped me personally feel more comfortable playing with a mouse, like how I described with that small CS thing. If I had to give an analogy, it felt like biking with two hands versus just one hand. It felt like a bit more stable, a little less awkward, and like I had to focus less to aim better, or well. So yeah, I would recommend trying it out. Just because you use it doesn't mean you're gonna like instantly turn into like MREC or something, but I don't think it's a huge investment like something like Ring Index, where it takes like a longer time to get used to. So again, I would recommend trying it out. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and or subscribing. Good luck trying this out and have a good day.